Today we're finding out how the new Galaxy Tab A11 compares to the Redmi Pad SE 8.7-inch tablet. There are some similarities between the two, but which is the better option? Well, let's talk about it. As far as pricing goes, both of these are actually very similar at under $200, probably closer to $150, depending on where you're looking, but I'll leave a link down below with current pricing and more information on both tablets. The Redmi Pad is just a little bit thicker. I feel like the Galaxy Tab feels a little more premium with its aluminum build versus plastic on the Redmi Pad. You only get 64 gigabytes for the base model for both tablets, but if you go with 128 gigabytes, you get 8 gigabytes of RAM for Samsung and 6 gigabytes of RAM for the Redmi Pad. Now, when comparing the displays, the Galaxy Tab A11 has increased the refresh rate at up to 90 Hz now, just like the Redmi Pad. They're both 8.7-inch screens at the same resolution, which is 800 by 1340, but the Redmi Pad has an IPS LCD display versus TFT on Samsung. Surprisingly though, when you put these two next to each other, they're actually closer than you would think. In fact, I don't know if most people would be able to tell the difference between the two. They have similar brightness and viewing angles. Just keep in mind, these are entry-level tablets, so they're not going to be the best out there, but I feel like they look decent considering the price, even if I do think these should be at least 1080p resolution. If you're watching YouTube videos or Netflix, I feel like both of these are going to look fine. It's just when reading or anything that has more detail to it, these could be a little better. Now, as far as battery goes, the Galaxy Tab A11 actually has better battery life than the previous Tab A9, lasting about 7.5 hours in my typical battery drain test, but the Redmi Pad lasted about 2 hours longer in that same test. You get 18 watt fast charging for the Redmi Pad versus 15 watts for Samsung. So if you want the tablet with better battery life, you'll want to go with the Redmi Pad. Now, as far as software goes, it's probably going to come down to personal preference. I think Samsung has the advantage here though, with up to 7 years of software updates, where you only get about 2 years software, 3-year security updates on the Redmi Pad. Unfortunately, you don't get Samsung DeX on the Galaxy Tab, but I do feel like you get some extras, like where you have the shortcuts over on the edge panel. You've got the taskbar down at the bottom to switch between apps. It's kind of interesting now how Samsung separated the notifications and shortcuts at the top, similar to the Redmi Pad. Another advantage for Samsung is you can do split screen between two apps and floating windows, where I don't see how you can do split screen on the Redmi Pad. There may be a way if you dig into the settings. Just seems kind of odd to me. I don't think either of these are going to feel that fast, but you can do most of the same things regardless of which one you go with. These two are sort of what you would expect from entry-level tablets, probably fast enough to do most basic things that you would need to. I still wish they had a little bit more power, but you've got the MediaTek Helio G99 processor in the Tab A11 versus the Helio G85 in the Redmi Pad. The Tab A11 does have better benchmark results, but I feel like it's pretty close, that it's not going to make a huge difference when using these. I think you can also do some light gaming on both tablets as well, and they're really comfortable when gaming, just much easier to reach things on the screen because of the smaller size. Just keep in mind, these are going to be at lower graphics settings. I think as long as you know what to expect, these two could be good enough if you're looking for a more affordable small tablet. Now, the nice thing is about both of these tablets is they still have a headphone jack, and that's something you're not really seeing much anymore. You've got one speaker on each side for both tablets. They're probably loud enough for most things, but here's a quick sample of each just to give you an idea of how they compare. Now, the cameras on here aren't going to be the best out there. You've got an 8 megapixel rear facing camera on both of these, and then a 5 megapixel on the front for both. You'll definitely get better results just using your cell phone, but here's a few quick samples just to give you an idea of what to expect. So overall, I think both of these are good options if you know what to expect from more affordable tablets like these. As you can see, there are some similarities, but if you need better battery life, the Redmi Pad probably makes more sense. If you want much longer software support and slightly better performance, then you'd probably want to go with the Galaxy Tab A11. I think if you want something more premium than these two, that's a smaller Android tablet, you may want to check out the Legion Tab Gen 3 from Lenovo or the Red Magic Astra gaming tablet. But hopefully this helped you out and seeing what the differences are between these two. But if you like tablets, phones, and other tech, I've got a lot more stuff that I'm working on as usual, so you'll want to keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.